Hello witches, welcome back to the channel. This is Hectarios. This is going to be our dark moon partial solar eclipse reading for July 12th, 2018. So this is the energy that dominates this week. So this will also be the weekly reading for July 8th through the 14th, 2018. So this last week was rather strange, wasn't it? There's a lot of uplifting, high vibrations, and beautiful energy. And then there was a little bit of chaos mixed in. So I think last week's reading was very accurate in that regard. I'm burning some sage. Receive these vibrations into your life, into your aura. And you'll burn some sage in your house. Get that cleansing energy. Get that high vibrational energy going. Last night, I actually saged my entire house. Counterclockwise. I basically did like a banishing type ritual to just cleanse. If you have not watched my video on the importance of cleansing, purification, and banishing magic, Purity is Power is the name of the video. I recommend that you watch that because things like banishing and cleansing are super important. Cleansing and banishing is very important to do regularly. Just because it gets rid of anything that may be negative or any kind of even just stagnation and inertia. So that is a very important thing to do. So I did that last night. I just felt the need to do it spur of the moment. So I did, a saging, a banishing. Like I said, in the counterclockwise direction. So yes, take this energy in. Breathe. Let it purify you. Okay? So, dominating this week, we have the partial solar eclipse, the dark moon, on the 12th. And it's occurring in Gemini. And Gemini is the sign of communication, travel, transportation, exchanges, business, contracts, public speaking, writing, exchange of messages, just all of that energy of sort of fast-paced communication energy and travel. Okay, that's what this sign highlights. It's also education in that regard, and it's just high vibrational movement and, like a steady wind blowing energetically. That's what it feels like. And with this eclipse occurring there, I feel like we're going to see a lot of breakthroughs in this energy. So that's what I'm feeling intuitively and empathically, clairsentiently. I sense energies, I feel them, and somehow I'm able to deduce what it means by the feeling. So that's called clairsentience, or psychic empathy. So that's one of my abilities, but that's beside the point. I just wanted to kind of clarify that in case you didn't understand when I say that I do intuitive astrology, or when I talk about, you know, what I'm psychically, empathically feeling. That is what I mean. I sense and feel the energies, and I'm able to deduce, you know, information from that. Okay, so I did want to mention also that right after the eclipse, we have Friday the 13th happening this week. So that is also a very strong energy. Friday is the day of Venus. It is the day of the goddess energy. 13 is the number of transformation. It's the number of the death card in the tarot. It represents a clearing away of the past, letting go of it. Clearing away dead weight, things that are not growing anymore, things that are not progressing anymore. Sort of just, you know, a banishing in that regard, clearing away that inertia and that stagnation, which opens up the path for a new beginning and a new start, new energy in general. 13 in that regard is a number of culmination and completion. It's slightly different than, you know, the number 10, because, well, numbers 9 and 10 are also symbolic of completion. But 13 is more so like the energy right after a completion takes place. So it is, you know, that graduation to the next level. It's the energy of things are completed now, what comes next? Okay, it's that energy of sort of reward and what comes next after completion. So it's transformational in that regard of moving up to the higher next level. Okay, so I think that it's a beautiful energy to have right after this eclipse. So I'm looking forward to it. But yes, this is just the psychic, intuitive part of the reading. But let's go ahead and get into the cards. I'm using the Lumina Tarot by Inner Hue, in case you wondered. Now I align myself with the Most High God and the Holy Spirit Hecate. Please communicate the truth to me through these cards, so that I may be guided for the highest good of all. Thank you, and so mote it be. Please give us your divine guidance for this dark moon partial solar eclipse and for this week, so that we can use these energies for our highest good, greatest success, and joy. Thank you, and so mote it be. I felt really strong vibrations when I did that. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna do 4 cards for this reading. So this is gonna be kind of different from what you're used to on the channel. I'm not using 3 cards, and I'm not doing the Celtic cross spread. I'm using 4 cards. So I'm doing it as, you know, the first card represents us right now, and then the other 3 cards will just sort of represent the energies of this week moving into the eclipse, okay? So the first card that we have for representing us, the Maiden of Cups. This is a beautiful energy. The Maiden of Cups is, you know, it's about focusing on the expression of your own innate creativity. And it's concerned with your emotions, kind of your heart center. It's living your life from that energy and communicating from that energy, expressing yourself from that energy. This could be, you know, a makeover, you know, physically, to your appearance, to your wardrobe. It's artistic, you know, expression. So this could mean, you know, literally art. This could mean, once again, like a makeover, how you present yourself. This could be, you know, sharing your dreams, your hopes, your wishes for, you know, the future. This could be inspiration coming into you, new ideas, new goals. And it has a very emotional and spiritual overtone. The Suit of Cups is about your emotions and your spirituality. Okay? And the Page of Cups, the pages in general represent, you know, that eagerness, that optimism, that new energy of pursuing something. Okay? So when we have the Maiden of Cups here, this energy is basically, you know, it's a gift coming in from the universe. I feel like this card is about divine inspiration. I feel like it is about the divine, you know, giving you signs, giving you synchronicities, giving you some sort of insight or guidance that really helps put you on the path, okay, going forward. And let me see. You know, look at the image. She's looking through, you know, a downward water triangle and the element symbolism. And that's what this is. This is seeing through that perspective, which is very creative. It's emotional. It's the heart center, okay? And that is the gateway to the divine. Love energy is the gateway to the divine energy, that source creator energy that you are aligned with. It's within you and it's all around you. You just have to see it, okay? So seek out what inspires you going into this week, going into this eclipse. Seek out what fuels your passion in that regard, okay? And pay attention. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to your intuition. And pay attention to any sort of omens or signs that are happening around you. Pay attention to any kind of psychic promptings that you feel within yourself, because these are how the universe guides you, okay? So that represents us for this week and going into this eclipse, okay? Now, for the week itself, we have the Knight of Cups. And this is a beautiful energy too. This card comes right after the Maiden of Cups, you know, in the order of the tarot. The Knight of Cups is acting on this Maiden of Cups energy. The Knight of Cups is starting those new adventures, following those inspirations, going forward. The Knights represent journeying, traveling, whether that is physically or symbolically, you know, stepping forth, taking those first steps on this journey. And the Knight of Cups is someone who lives from their heart center. It's a very romantic, poetic view of life and feeling, you know, caught up in that energy, allowing yourself to feel caught up in that energy, feeling inspired about life in general and going forward you know, taking steps, going out, using that energy. I feel like, you know, the message that was coming through to me was, with this card, was a makeover. Okay? Redo, recreate your self-image. And the Knight of Cups energy is kind of about that too. It's being charming. It's a card of attractiveness and romance in that regard. It doesn't have to be a romance with another person. Okay, you can just be inspired to, you know, make over yourself, change up your image, and feel, you know, that you deserve love, that you deserve everything that you want, and align your self-image, your attitude, you know, the way that you act, the way that you present yourself. Align that with what you feel that you deserve and want. Okay, and that will help you attract it. And more than that, you know, pursue it, seek it out. Don't be afraid to seek out what you want. Take those steps, begin that journey. This is a beautiful energy when I see these two cards right beside each other. The next card is the Seven of Swords. You know, this reading kind of reminds me of last week because we had two quite positive cards, you know, on either side, and then we had the Nine of Swords in the middle. So it was like beautiful, blessing, abundant, uplifting energy, yet with a little bit of turbulence thrown in the mix. And that's what we have here with the Seven of Swords. Because right after that, we have the Strength card at the end of the reading. So, you know, very positive cards, and then we just have the Seven of Swords thrown in the middle of it. This is a card, I want to say, when this comes up, be cautious. The Seven of Swords is about, you know, it can represent thievery. It can represent deception, manipulation. It can represent someone, you know, trying to pull the wool over your eyes, so to speak. Someone trying to make off with something that is yours, whether that is just your energy, your ideas, you know. If you have goals or something, someone may try to sabotage it because, you know, they want you to stay in a box that they've created for you. A lot of people don't like change. They like the status quo as it is because they're comfortable with it, because it's serving them in some way. And if you try to step outside of those bounds, you know, with this beautiful energy, okay, if you try to step outside of, you know, where you've been, pursue something new, pursue something different, you know, it might upset some people. People who don't have your best interests in heart. You know, the Seven of Swords is a card of opposition. This is someone who opposes you, opposes what you're doing. Okay? This could just be, you know, energetically. It doesn't necessarily have to be another person, but I feel like it might be. Manipulation, trickery, deception. You know, it may not even necessarily be veiled manipulation. Someone might just outright be trying to manipulate you and intimidate you and threaten you into, into a box, into doing things their way. So with this card's energy coming up in the middle of this reading, I feel like you need to be careful. Be careful of, who you share your new inspirations with. Not everyone wants what's best for you. Some people want you to stay at the level that you're at and where you're at because it's serving them in some way. Not everyone is going to believe in you. Not everyone is going to believe in your ideals, your new goals. Not everyone is going to support and believe in that, whether if they're your friends or not. Okay? People don't necessarily always see things the way that you do or see the world the same way that you do. People don't always necessarily know what you are capable of. Things like that, okay? And, for whatever reasons, they may not support you. They may try to sabotage you. They might just discourage you and try to put a damper on your positive vibes. Okay? But at the worst, they might outright just be trying to sabotage you and, harm you and harm your goals and make off with what is yours and that type of energy. So just be very careful this week. I feel like, I made a post on Facebook last night. This is not just eclipse season. This is also vampire season, okay? Psychic vampirism. And that's what I feel with this card. Okay? Y'all can go back and watch my video, The Oracle of the Red Dragon. It's either, part 2 or part 3, because I made, I think, 4 videos on that series. In one of the videos, I was talking about Kundalini life force energy and how we all exchange it. Okay? Psychic vampirism is an imbalance of this energy exchange. And to some extent, we can all be, vampirizing other people, depending if we give back or not. Being a psychic vampire means you're kind of like stuck in that state and you're always doing it. But to a lesser degree, we're always exchanging life force energy with each other. And, you need to be aware of the relationships that you're in where there is imbalances, okay? And that's what I feel with this card coming up. I feel like things will be exposed this week with this energy, where you're putting in and you're not getting back. Maybe you are a very supportive person to people that are around you. Maybe you support all of their efforts and all of their pursuits. And maybe they're not supporting yours. And I feel like you need to be hyper critically aware of that this week. And, you might need to use this eclipse's energy of communication breakthroughs to put forth your needs, express what you need, express what you desire and what you want. And if people don't respect it when you have, bluntly and blatantly stated it, then you need to reconsider those relationships, because those people don't respect you if they don't respect, what you're telling them as far as your needs and your goals. Okay? So this is a sort of negative energy, but That's bound to happen when we have eclipses. You know, to a lesser degree, every time we come to the dark moon, the waning moon, this energy sort of becomes intense in that regard. But when we have a partial solar eclipse, this energy is very strong and very intense. So, you know, if you have to become intense, do it in these certain regards and relationships. Just know that that is one part of being true to yourself and speaking up for yourself and standing your ground, okay? And I say that because the Strength card is the final card for this week. And this is about that fierce love energy and how it overcomes ego, how it overcomes, you know, pretty much anything and everything that it needs to overcome. Okay, the Strength card is using your love, using your spirituality to overcome obstacles, whether those obstacles are other people or just situations, whether if it's your own, you know, dark side and primal animalism, animalistic urges, you know, and stubbornness. This is overcoming it through the power of love and through courage to love, including if that is self-love. Okay, you need to love yourself fiercely and speak up for yourself. Stand your ground on what you feel is right. So, you know, that gives you the power to overcome opposition. That gives you the power to overcome challenges. This is a week to tap into the heart center and put that first in your life. Okay? Be true to your own emotions. Be true to your own loving emotions. And if that requires you to be stern to people who are not respecting it, or, you know, to be critical in situations that are not, you know, meeting your needs and just respecting you in general, then, you know, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to love fiercely. Use that energy to overcome the lion. Okay, it can be done. It's how it needs to be done for the highest good. Alright? So when I see all of these cards together like this, I feel like this week is going to be, you know, it's going to be progress. It's going to be positive overall. It may require you to shift into an energy of loving, but fiercely. It may require you to be stern and severe, but from the right place, okay? From the right center, from your heart center, okay? There are ways to deal with negative situations and people, you know, in a stern way, but at the same time, not losing your balance, not losing yourself in the process. Aligning with that heart center and with that love energy, you know, and communicating from that place. That is the right way to go about these situations and relationships. So if you find yourself facing that this week, just keep that in mind. One more thing I did want to mention, because this is eclipse season, there's going to be a destructive aspect to it, no matter how you look at it. Eclipses are transformation, they are change, and all change, you know, its endings and its new beginnings. And sometimes those endings are very turbulent. Sometimes those endings are very dramatic and intense. But they're needed. They're necessary, okay? It clears away the stagnation. It clears away what's blocking you so that you can go forward with everything that is new. Okay? Eclipses shake up our lives. They unstifle us. They unravel us where we have been wound up and tense. And it lightens your load in that regard. It liberates you. Because when you have any situation destroyed, even if it's a good one, when something is destroyed, you know, when something dies, when something comes to an end, whether if it was a good or a bad thing, it clears that space in your life. It opens that door to something new. Okay, it creates a blank canvas. It creates a clean slate for you to make something entirely new. Okay, so this is a very liberating energy. This is a very, it's an energy of potential. And you can put in its place whatever you want to create that is new. So that's more so a message for this eclipse season in general. But just know that that's what we're going into. We have 3 eclipses back to back. So, you know, this first eclipse, July 12th. The full moon lunar eclipse, July 27th. And then another partial solar eclipse on August 11th. So, you know, these eclipses are back to back. This energy is going to be very intense, very transformational. It's going to close a lot of doors that should have already been closed a while. And it's going to open new doors. Okay, it's going to bring in that new energy and those new beginnings for you. So I wanted to include that at the end of this reading because it's important to keep that in mind going through this process. Don't resist changes. Don't fear them. You know, like I said, even if endings come to certain situations and relationships that you considered positive, you know, it's still not necessarily a negative thing. It's actually still a positive thing because it's clearing the slate. And it's giving you an opportunity to create something new. And you can put, you know, whatever you want in that new space in your life. It could be anything. So it's a very free energy. And it holds all potential. And you're the one that gets to shape and form, you know, what you do with that. So don't fear changes. Don't resist them. Embrace them. Be excited about it. Because you can fill that void with infinite potential, with whatever you want. Embrace this creative energy. Okay, live from your heart center. Go forward with that energy. Walk away from what doesn't respect it. And you will come out on top. you will win in the end because you're following your heart. Okay, and that is the most important thing. So that's going to be all for this reading. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, please like, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you are not already, because there'll be much more readings going forward as always, and there will be also a lot more videos on spiritual and magical topics, and I look forward to that. I'm also going to be doing, more limited access rituals going forward, because I really want to share the magic and the gnosis that Hecate has taught me and shares with me. So look forward to that as well. And if you would like a private reading, because these readings are general largely, so you have to apply them where they fit in your life yourself. But if you want a private reading, you can get a lot more detailed information. So if you would like one of those, contact me through the description box, links and information and details on how to contact me, and we can set up a session for you. That's going to be all. Thank you for watching. Hail to the witches, hail Hecate, and blessed be.